Welcome to What If, a podcast where we explore how different situations affect our lives, our bodies, and our choices. For this episode, we'll dive into real stories, practical tips, and expert insights to help us understand stress better. Because what if stress isn't just a problem, but something we can learn to manage, overcome, and even grow from? Stay tuned and let's discover the power behind our pressure.
So before we start, let us know what is the definition of stress. So stress is the body's natural reaction to any internal or external demand that requires a person to adjust or respond. It may be physical, emotional, or mental in nature, and it helps individuals deal with challenges in daily life. Although stress is a normal experience, its effects can be positive or negative depending on how it is understood and managed. Difference between eustress and distress. Stress and distress are two types of stress that differ based on how individuals interpret a situation. Eustress is a positive form of stress that motivates individuals to improve their performance, stay focused, and achieve their goal. It often occurs when a challenge is viewed as manageable and rewarding. In contrast, distress is a negative form of stress that happens when a person feels overwhelmed or unable to cope with certain demands. It can lead to anxiety, fatigue, or health problems. The key difference lies in perception. When stress is seen as an opportunity, it becomes eustress. When it's seen as a threat, it becomes distress. Now, let us know what the cause and effects of stress. Sa tingin nyo, ano kaya yung cause and effects ng stress?
Okay, so pag-usapan natin yan, no? So, sa tingin ko, maraming causes ng stress and marami din siyang effects and based or case-to-case basis siya kung sino yung nakakaramdam, kung adults or students. And para sa atin, syempre, students tayo, iba rin yung stress na nararamdaman natin from adults. Maybe yung cause ng stress natin is school, maybe yung responsibilities and yung expectations na binibigay sa atin ng parents natin, or maybe,
Guys, here we have the audience interaction where we ask you guys questions about stress and we will answer them for you, our own opinions. Then, yung mga opinions namin, we will see later if nagkatugma siya sa mga experts na i-interview natin.
So, as for our first question po, what situations usually cause stress? This is from 12 STEMG.
Okay, so sa akin, sa tingin ko, usually, nag-cause yung stress sa atin is sa school. Kunwari, yung mga madaming projects, ngayon, di ba, madami tayong gagawin, pagsasabay-sabay yung mga schoolworks. Nagde-develop tayo ng stress dahil di natin alam kung ano yung uunahin. Sa tingin niyo?
Oh, ganun din. Kasi, lalo na ngayon, as grade 12 students, akala rin natin, di ba, na dahil 3 days lang yung pasok natin, akala natin mas unting gawain. Hindi pala. Mas stressful siya for me kesa nung grade 11. Sa inyo?
Same lang din sa akin kasi usually, nung nakita yung schedule from yung unang grade 12, yung schedule nakita 3 days lang. Kaya akala ko mabawasan yung stress natin. Pero mas mahirap pala.
Speaking of stress, kung anong causes, here is our next question from 12 STEMG ulit. What are common ways to cope or relax during stressful times?
Para sa akin, nagko-cope ako with stress. Kunwari may stress tayo sa mga assignments is naglalakad ako and nag-exercise because nung nag-exercise ako, nababawasan talaga yung stress ko kasi doon ko nagagastos yung lahat ng energy ko. Sa tingin nyo, ano yung ways nyo para mabawasan yung stress nyo?
Feeling ko, yun lang naman talaga yung pwede natin doon eh. We do hobbies para makalimutan natin yung problems natin and yung stress na nararamdaman natin. And pag gumagawa tayo ng hobbies, syempre focus tayo dun sa bagay na yun. So yun nga, makakalimutan natin.
Tama yung sinasabi mo, Gia. Pero I think na hindi lang yun yung way para mag-cope tayo. okay? I think na there are other ways like communicating with other people about our problems, venting to other people about our problems, like talking to therapists, psychiatrists, o kaya our friends and family. Kasi minsan ang mga hobbies natin, masyado tayo na-overwhelm sa stress, sa mga problems natin na hindi na natin masyadong magagawa yung hobbies natin o kaya hindi na masyadong nag-work para makarelieve ng stress. So, ang isang way din yung pag-vent na ano tawag doon? Ang isang way din na pag-vent ay pwede rin siya makapag-reflect. Pwede tayo makapag-reflect sa pag-vent since sinasabi natin yung problema natin, and while we are saying our problems to other people, we can come to the realization that meron talagang solusyon sa problema natin. Kasi hindi permanent ang problem natin sa buhay. Yun lang.
So, this is from 12 ABMB. How to balance schoolwork and social life to avoid burnout.
So, for me, since tayo namang lahat ay students, and I am a very sociable person, I think, to balance schoolwork and social life is, pwede mo rin silang pagsabayan. Like, gawin yung bonding with your friends, no? Na mag-study together, lalo na during quizzes, tsaka exams, so that while you are stressed out sa mga exams, meron kang karamay, you are not alone. No man is an island, kumbaga. Kayo?
Yun din para sa akin kasi, feeling ko, factor din yung social life sa schoolwork. I mean, mas better ka sa schoolworks kapag mas marami kang friends and mas marami kang relationships. Kasi, kunwari, hindi mo alam yung gagawin sa ganito. Pwede kang magtanong dun sa friends mo kung paano gagawin para alam mo na kung paano yung gagawin.
So, tawag nila ako sa sinabi nyo na it is very important to balance social life with schoolwork. Kasi, paparating na tayo sa college, which means na malapit na tayong 4 years, di ba? So, pagkatapos maghanap tayo ng trabaho, so it is very important to socialize na kasi mahirapan tayo pag tahimikan tayo ngayon, and pagdating ng college, wala tayong mga kausap, hindi tayong mga pag-friends sa iba, wala tayong maging connections.
Oo, tama. Tsaka to add lang sa sinabi ng dalawa, dapat pumili kayo ng friends na maganda kasama at magmamotivate sa inyo. Hindi lang kayo maghihilahan pababa. Huwag ganon. Kasi mas mababurnout ka talaga doon from experience na rin. Kapag toxic yung friend group nyo, or kaya may mga problems na hindi talaga nare-resolve, mababurnout ka pati sa schoolworks nyo. Madadamay talaga ang schoolworks nyo from experience. So, ayun na.
Next.
Question number 4. Is being numb or no longer feeling stress a good thing or not? From 12 ABMA.
Sa tingin ko, is being numb or no longer feeling stress a good thing? Para sa akin, hindi. Kasi, you need stress in your life, eh. Kasi, pag nai-stress ka, parang nag-improve yung adrenaline mo para gawin yung mga projects, mga assignments, or kumbaga, gawin mo yung task mo. Kasi pag hindi ka nai-stress, parang, tatamadin ka rin.
Tsaka, hindi ka na rin parang tao naman kung hindi ka nasi-stress, diba? Lalo na ngayon, mga students. I think mga students naman manonood neto. Pero, I think it is not possible to not feel stress. Kasi nga, we have different types of stress. We have eustress, distress, acute stress, episodic acute stress, and chronic stress. Pwede naman tayo magka-eustress din kasi positive yun. Like being excited, distress, being anxious, ganon. And I think it is not a good thing. Maybe you are feeling stressed but you are just bottling up your emotions. Since I believe na lahat ng tao ay nakaka-feel ng stress. Maybe you just, wait lang, at doon. I think dun sa part na yun na you are numb, maybe you should go talk to someone, lalo na a professional. Kasi if ipon lang ng ipon yung stress sa'yo nang hindi mo alam, baka in the future, masamang effect pa mangyayari sa'yo, no?
Feeling ko, no longer feeling stress. Bad thing talaga siya kasi para sa akin, syempre yung stress nagagaling siya sa problems. And kung wala ka ng stress, ibig sabihin, konti yung problems mo. And para sa akin, yung problems kasi or yung stress, yun yung nag-i-improve sa'yo as a person eh. Kung wala kang stress or wala kang problems, paano ka mag-i-improve niyan? Paano ka magmamature? So, yun lang naman.
Okay, next question.
Next question is from 12 ABM. So, why does stress sometimes happen when you least expect it?
So, para sa akin, least expected yung nangyari because hindi natin malalaman kung kailan darating yung stress na yan or kailan tayo ma-experience yan. Dahil hindi natin makakontrol yung mundo eh. Okay? So, yeah. Sa touch nyo, bakit ba
for me, hindi naman natin mapaplano yung stress eh. So, it is a part of life na. And it is a way then to keep us going. Kasi if walang stress, maybe maboboard lang tayo, no? Kung hindi ka ma-excite, hindi ka ma-anxious. And after mo naman malagpasan yung stress na yon, sometimes it makes you feel good. Lalo na kapag malaking hurdle sa buhay mo ang nalagpasan mo. It makes you feel relieved and like you achieved something talaga.
So for me naman, why does stress happen when you least expect it? Siyempre, yung stress kasi para sa akin, connected siya sa problems. And yung mga problems kasi na yun, hindi naman talaga natin may expect na darating yun eh. For example, lumatayan ka ng relative, ganito. Hindi mo may expect yun and minsan, darating na lang yung stress mula dun sa problem na yun. So, yun lang naman yung thoughts ko lang.
Okay, next question tayo. Paano maging productive? How to deal with stress?
So, dun nga tayo sa paano maging productive. Kasi parang dalawang question to eh. Ikaw muna, di ba?
So, paano maging productive? I think is surround yourself with mga productive na tao din. Kasi if you surround yourself with productive people, mahahawa kayo because kasabihan nga, di ba? 5 people you are close with, ganun ka din. Ano yung attitude mo? Di ba?
For me naman, how to be productive. Nasa sa'yo naman yan eh. Kung gusto mo mag-improve, syempre, gustuin mo din maging productive. So, para sa akin, para maging productive is gumagawa ko ng schedule para may discipline din ako sa kung anong ginagawa ko. So, kunwari, for this time of the day, gagawa ko ng activities, assignments, and then, mag-take ako ng breaks, play games, ganun, and then balik na naman dun sa work. So, yun yung ginagawa ko para maging productive.
Oo nga, to add to that, meron yung word of the day yung kakaklase namin eh. Dalawa siya, di ba? Discipline and motivation. You can have one without the other, but it is most important to be productive na you have both. Kasi it keeps you going. It gives you a consistent routine para maging productive. And also, a way para maging... Okay, cut dun sa away ha.
Hindi na dito pag-kasakit.
Okay.
Cut dun sa away ha. 1, 2, 3, go. A way to be productive is to actually start what you are doing. Kasi it is still progress. Kahit maliit man lang, it is still one step closer to your goal. How to deal with stress? Yun nga, parang nasabi na nga namin kanina. Like hobbies and also talking to friends and other ways like
Basta
yun na yun. Uy, gagi! Huwag na naman Ito, wait. Dun sa how to deal with stress, cut mo na yun. Okay,
Ikaw lang din,
how to deal. So, dito naman sa how to deal with stress, parang nasagot na rin namin kanina. Like, doing your hobbies, talking to friends. Basta, think of ways na malalagpasan mo yung stress na yun. Huwag ka magiging stagnant. Kasi hindi mo talaga yun masusolusyonan if iniisip mo na hindi mo talaga malalagpas ang problema mo. So, next question na.
Comment from STEM G. Does school, family, or social life create the most stress?
Depende kasi yan sa tao. If you are focused sa academic achievements mo, maybe school. Pero, if meron kang family problems, pwede yun din yung factor eh. Minsan kasi, mas mabigat pa ang stress galing sa family kaysa sa school. Or yung sa social life mo rin. Kasi, in all honesty, I believe na these three things are interconnected. We can't have one without the other. And also, ano na siya eh, it is part of our daily lives. Kaya ayun.
Ganun din naman sa akin. So factor naman siya sa lahat ng sa lahat ng tao. School, family, and social life. Depende na lang siya kung sino yung mas mabigat sa other. Kung sino yung mas stressful sa other. So, yun lang naman.
Ganun din sa akin kasi sa edad natin, school, family, or social life is yung pinaka nangyayari or we are focused on. So, yeah, nagbabalance din naman kasi yun. School, family, or social life. It really depends kung ano yung pinaka na-focus ka and kung ano yung nandun ka.
Last question. What is the better way in handling or coping with stress? Bottling it all up or letting it affect people around you from 12-step I for me? Wala siya dyan. No, it is not a good way to cope with stress. Kasi these are toxic behaviors. You are not only endangering yourself in the future, you are also creating future harm for others. Kasi if you bottle it up, kapag napuno ka, baka hindi lang ikaw yung masasaktan. Baka maka-apekto rin yon sa taong close sa'yo. Kaya I think instead of bottling all up or letting people affect you, you start to be open with people. Kasi trust is a very important thing in relationships, diba? Trust is one of the foundations of relationships, successful relationships. Kaya dapat, you need to learn to trust people. Kasi if you bottle it all up, or you let people be affected by it negatively, it really has a negative outcome. There is no situation where it has a positive outcome talaga.
For me, I think valid naman yung letting it affect people around you. Kung yung mga people na yun is friends mo na gusto talagang samahan ka dun sa problems or sa stress na nararamdaman mo. Kasi, if, yun nga, kung you, what
Okay
the
lang,
fuck?
okay lang.
Ulit. So, for me naman, parang valid din yung letting it affect people around you. Kung yung people na yan is friends mo na handa kang samahan dun sa nararamdaman mong problems or stress. Kasi for me, maganda rin na may friends ka na sasamahan ka dun sa problems mo para mas gumaan yung stress na nararamdaman mo.
So, agree ako sa letting it affect people around you. Kasi, nung one time, nag-share ako sa parents ko, yung mga problema ko, and they tell me on what to do. They tell me tips on how to fix it, and what I need to do para mabawasan yung stress na yun at mawala. So, yes, I agree with letting it people around you.
Letting it affect people around you.
Pero I have a question then. What is the limit sa pag-affect ng people. So, di ba sinabi niyo, nangihingi ng advice ka para mag-solve yung problems. Ano yung limit nun para sa inyo?
Siyempre, feeling ko, yung limit nun is hanggang sa wala kang natatapaan na tao or wala kang na-harm na other people, siyempre, pwede mong i-share yung nararamdaman mo sa kanila.
Para sa akin is, huwag mo sabihin lahat. Maybe yung mga mababaw or what you think na makakatulong na sabihin mo sa kanila kung ano yung pwede, yung kung ano yung alam nila. Dahil kunyari sa parents natin, mas ma-experience sila sa mga problema yan dahil nagdaanan na yan, di ba? So, we just ask that, what the tips and what to do.
Okay. So, kapag ganito, huwag lang in a negative way na makakasama na sa kanila, correct? Okay. So that wraps up our audience interaction. You can now send your questions through the Google Forms QR code or link here. And we are going to move on to the next section of our podcast, which is the interviews with the experts. And we will also ask some of these questions in order to have their personal and professional opinions about this.
Hi everyone! So, today, we will discuss the healthy coping mechanisms for stress. Stress is a normal part of life, and coping is how we deal with it in a healthy and thoughtful way. Coping is different from defense mechanisms because we do it on purpose to feel better, according to Algorani and Gupta 2023. There are 4 ways we commonly cope with stress. First, the problem-focused coping. We face the stress directly. We look for solutions and make a plan to fix the problem. First coping way natin, ito yung uma-action tayo para ma-resolbahan yung problema ang kinakaharap na nagkakos ng stress sa atin. Like, gumagawa tayo ng plan to make a change. Katulad nga ng mga school work sa school, yung mga binibigay ng mga teachers na mga heavy projects na malalapit na yung deadline para ma-resolbahan yun, gumagawa tayo ng plan, like gumagawa tayo ng sariling deadline natin para hindi tayo nagka-cram at the end of the day. The second is emotion-focused coping. We calm our feelings through relaxing activities like journaling or breathing exercises. So, dito sa emotion-focused coping, kapag nai-stress yung isang tao, instead na mag-open up sila sa mga taong malapit sa kanila, mas pinipili pa nila na mag-open up sa diary or journal nila. And pinoprotektahan nila yung sarili nila o like what we call nagsa-self-care by doing meditations or exercises nga para mabawasan yung stress na dinadala nila. Third, the meaning-focused coping. We try to find purpose in challenges so we can stay hopeful. So, dito naman sa meaning-focused coping, ito yung kapag nai-stress tayo, lumalapit tayo kay Lord, especially most of us, since religious naman halos lahat tayo. So, kapag hindi na natin kaya yung bigat na stress na dinadala natin, is magpe-pray tayo like kinakausap natin si Lord para gumaan kahit papaano yung pakiramdam natin. And may iba pa nga na nagbabasa ng Bible para ma-motivate or kaya mas iniisip nila yung goals and values nila sa buhay para hindi sila ma-apektuhan ng stress. And then fourth, social-focused coping. We talk to friends, family, or someone we trust for comfort and support. From Right Choice Recovery Editorial Team 2025. So dito naman, sa way ng coping na to, ito yung nag-open up tayo sa mga close friends natin or sa family para ma-i-express din natin yung sarili natin sa kanila and like para may mapayo din sila sa atin para gumaan yung pakiramdam natin and ma-feel na important tayo sa para ma-feel na important tayo dito and sa kanila. According to Bailey 2025, not all coping is helpful. Says there are 2 types, adaptive and maladaptive coping. Adaptive coping helps us feel and live better. Examples including meditation, mindfulness, exercise, aromatherapy, asking for help when needed, and good time management. These improve our health and make us stronger. Meanwhile, maladaptive coping only helps us for a moment but causes bigger problems later. This includes smoking, self-harm, avoidance, dissociation, hypersexuality, and self-sabotage. They can harm our body, emotions, and relationships. Stress will always be there, but choosing healthy coping strategies helps us stay strong, hopeful, and in control.
And now we're going to discuss some warning signs that you are feeling stressed. But before that, stress is normal, but too much of it can become harmful. As high school students, we need to pay attention not only to our own feelings, but also to what our classmates might be going through. Here are some common warning signs that show when stress is becoming too much. If you are wondering, am I stressed? Here are some clues your body and feelings might show. First is physical signs. You might notice headaches, stomach ache, or feeling tired all the time. Some students start sleeping too much while others can't sleep at all. Stress can even make you get sick more often, according to APA 23 and Navigate 360 2024. Para sa akin, yung physical signs, nararamdaman ko yung siguro nagkakaroon ako ng headache or stomach pain or napapagod ako dahil siguro sa mga binibigay nga sa school na sobrang daming projects, tapos lagi nagre-review tuwing gabi kasi marami ring quiz na binibigay. Nahihirapan na ako mag-focus din.
Is emotional and behavioral signs. So, a person may start feeling sad, nervous, or easily irritated. They might cry more, lose interest in their hobbies, and get angry quickly, or even over small things. According to TribeWorks 2023 and Relational Psychology Group 2024 Academic Science. So, according to myself, like, nalulose interest na ako sa mga hobbies ko like volleyball, billiards, or basketball. Kasi, dun din nag-i-start yung stress ko. Like, dami ko rin iniisip sa mga hobbies ko. Like, nagkaka-stress ako and dali rin ako magalit sa even over small things. And nakakapagod rin pagsabay-sabay yung mga hobbies ko.
Next one is academic signs. Stress can make it harder to focus or remember lessons. Grade may start to drop, and some students might avoid going to school because they feel too overwhelmed. According to Spring Learning 2024, based sa experience ko, dahil nga sa sobrang dami ng mga performance tasks, quizzes, assignments, masyado ako na-overwhelmed and nahihirapan ako mag-focus kahit sa school or masundan yung lessons na tinuturo ng teachers namin kasi nga masyado na ako na-overwhelmed and nahihirapan na ako.
So next is social signs. So students under serious stress may pull away from family and friends. So some might turn to unhealthy habits like smoking or alcohol just to feel better. According to Bailey 2025 and Right Choice Recovery Editorial Team 2025. So para sa akin, like, di kasi ako mahilig sa smoking or alcohol just to feel better. Ang ginagawa ko para maging feel better ako, like, para pawala yung mga stress ko, naggagala lang ako sa tuwing gabi and kasama ko rin mga friends ko maggala and mga family ko rin. So remember, noticing these signs early can help us take action, or whether it's checking on a friend or reaching out for support ourselves. So no one should deal with stress alone. Now that we discussed the coping mechanisms and warning signs, let us now move on to the Q&A portion.
Hello po, I am John Brian Iatreño from 12 STEM D.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how often do you experience stress?
I would say 9 po.
And can you give a situation where you experience stress?
Recently lang po, I was stressed talaga dahil sabay-sabay yung mga deadlines ng projects, activities, and even yung mga quizzes and long tests where I find it difficult to manage my time and focus on each task. Parang ang hirap niya pagsabayan kasi halos araw-araw may kailangan kang paghandaan. And ayun po.
And how did you overcome it naman po?
I overcome it by organizing my schedule and setting priorities. Inuuna ko muna yung mga tasks na pinakamalapit. And also kapag overwhelmed ako sa isang bagay, I always seek support and I always make sure sa sarili ko na I have time for myself to take some rest kapag napapagod ako sa isang bagay.
My name is Meredith Perez from 12 Steps. Okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how often do you experience stress? I'd say around 10.
Can you give a situation where you experience stress?
One situation that I experienced stress is when I had to face deadlines in my everyday life as a student. I think it's pretty relevant because for us students, time is of the essence, and with deadlines, we get to be held back to the things that we're supposed to do, pero instead, we put it on other stuff connected to our academic living.
And how did you overcome it?
So, I'd say I overcame my stress by taking a nap. Also, taking long cold baths also helped me. But for the meantime, if I can't do any of that, I just rely on listening to some music or playing some quick games to ease the stress and tension within my mind.
Go! My name is Brendan Calix RPRS from grade 12 STEM C.
So my first question is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how often do you experience stress?
Mga 7.
And can you give a situation where you experience stress?
Sa isang situation na na-experience ko ay halos palagi pala ay yung mga activities na binibigay ng school and yung dahil sa sa pressure ng family ko na binibigay gusto nila na mag-always ako.
And lastly, how did you overcome it?
Na-overcome ko yung stress by sleeping and pag naglalaro ako ng games and kapag nakikipag-hangout ako sa mga friends ko, ayun, na-feel kong better na ako.
Coming to our interview, we have here Ate Jana. Hello po, so pwede po ba state ng name, course, year, and school po?
Okay, so I'm Jana Arlene Tito, aging psychology from UNC University of Metapacity.
So, meron po kami mga question dito. So, for our first question, how does long-term stress affect the way you make decisions?
So, when I'm under a lot of stress for a long time, it makes me overthink more, meaning I tend to stop doing casual things like I just sleep, since I overthink too much and it makes me feel unmotivated to move and nagiging irrational din ako towards decision making and since my brain is tensed up or hindi relaxed, what is happening towards what is happening around. So I tend to react differently or unfairly. So I sometimes choose the wrong options ba and it sometimes leads to an unsatisfying outcome. So pag nangyayari yan is I do relax, I sleep, and then mag-start na mag-decide from
Ikaw, yun. So, yung stress po, mahihirapan po na talaga tayo makapag-isip ng maayos, makapag-desisyon ng maayos. Yung stress po, para makadesisyon po tayo ng maayos, ayun nga po yung sinabi ni Ate Jana, maging kalmado muna bago gumawa ng mga desisyon. So, for our second question, are there some unexpected or surprising symptoms of stress? If yes, what are they?
There are actually common symptoms of stress, pero it also depends on each person. So, as for me, when I'm under a lot of stress, I feel unmotivated or I blisters on my hand, I get irregular monthly cycles, I break out, and I experience too much trauma. So, and also this is the like most important symptoms or like most casual, not casual, like lagi ko siyang na-experience is I bite my nails unconsciously. So, since it differs naman to other persons, I can say na what applies to me doesn't mean that it applies to other people also. So, over time, when you observe that something's changing about you, then you should take a break lang din na talaga.
Tama po yan. Meron po kasing mga tao na hindi na-realize na sign yun na stress ka na. So, good thing po yun na alam po natin yung mga sign na gano'n. For our next question, asked by our fellow grade 12 student, we have, is being numb or no longer feeling stress a good stress or not?
At first kasi, it may feel like we're at peace. Parang wala tayong iniisip at all. Pero at the same time, stress itself kasi is a good thing since it is what keeps us alert or stay motivated. So, being numb or not feeling it at all means that we're drained or burned out in our way, like emotionally, physically, or mentally. So, this means that our mind or our body just done eventually when we're like overwhelmed with too much stress inside us is not manageable.
Sometimes being numb means we reach our limit, not that we're not okay. For next question, how balance full works and social life to avoid burnout?
So, for me, I learned to avoid being burned out by managing my time and making lists of my tasks, and more importantly, to avoid procrastination or damage. So, definitely, the learn ko na dapat nag-set ako ng task, and may set rin ako to go out, my other friends, which means that I surround myself with people that make me comfortable, or just enjoying my time. So, having these two things kasi, it balances our life of our cycle of living. So, may mga nakaset akong araw for each event or task that I have. When we just manage ang time and task, and we could nag-exam, makakain yung hours, so we could have finished the task. And when as long as mag-procrastinate, it will lead to being drained. And I've learned that constantly pushing ourselves doesn't always mean that we'll be productive and instructive. Sometimes it just leads to burnout. So, be productive. Ang pinaka-important talaga is to have enough rest, to have enough achievement while managing things equally.
Tama po din yun. Kasi pag meron po tayong mga nakaset na schedule, hindi po tayo mapaburnout. Kaya nga po nang sabi ng ibang tao, pag puro isko lang iniintindi, may stress. Pag puro galag naman po or pakasaya, may stress dahil pwedeng bumagsak. So kailangan din po talaga natin i-balance yung dalawa na yun. For our last question for you, what is the best way to reduce or relieve stress?
As I said earlier, I surround myself with people that make me comfortable. So the most effective way to reduce stress is to slow down and do things that make me peace. I like to take time for myself, listen to music, watching my comfort movies, or just enjoy solitude for a while as a breather. Since as a talker, someone who likes to talk things out, I also like to talk to someone I trust since it helps a lot because saying or venting things out loud makes the load feel lighter. But most of all, I remind myself that it's okay to break. It's okay to take a break, it's okay to take a breather, because the hard thing that I've learned is that resting doesn't mean giving up. So I take my time to breathe and just feel my own system building up, and then I continue things that way.
Maganda rin po yun na pang-reduce ng stress. Kasi naka-assign ko yung mga bagay-bagay. Katulad nga po ng sabi ni Ate Jana, pag nasa labas po siya, hindi niya na po iniisip yung iba. Hanggang sa katapos po yung yung plan niya doon, hindi niya na lang din po iniisip. Thank you, Ate Jana, for answering our question.
Good luck.
Ways to manage stress is important, especially for students who juggle classes, homework, and personal responsibilities every day. One of the best ways to reduce stress is by taking care of your overall health. Regular exercise, balanced meals, and getting enough sleep can keep your mind sharp and your body energized, so you're better prepared to face challenges. Relaxation techniques like guided meditation and deep breathing also help calm the body's fight or flight response. Just a few minutes of slow, focused breathing can lower anxiety and bring back a sense of control. It's also helpful to step back from social media. Too much scrolling can create pressure, comparison, and even interrupt our sleep, which only adds more stress. Another key to managing stress is finding balance. Make time for hobbies, fun activities, and the people you care about. Connecting with friends, family, or community gives you support and reminds you that you're not alone. Lastly, know your limits. Learn to say no when needed and recognize what triggers your stress. And if it becomes too heavy to handle alone, don't hesitate to reach out for professional help. By staying healthy, taking breaks, and keeping strong connections with others, students can better manage stress and feel more in control of their day-to-day lives. So ikaw, John, anong mga ways na ginagawa mo para ma-manage yung stress?
Mga paraan kung paano malesan yung stress na nararamdaman ko ay matulog talaga mostly buong araw. Kapag hindi naman, mga hobbies ginagawa ko. Kapag hindi rin yun, lalakad ay nagbabike o kaya nagmamotor para hindi ko talaga maisip yung stress na sa buhay ko ba. Ikaw naman, ano yung ginagawa mo para?
Ako naman kapag nasistress ako, ang ginagawa ko ay nakikinig ng mga music o kaya naglalaro ng online games. O kaya naman kapag sobrang stress na talaga ako, minsan nanonood ako ng movies, sa Netflix ganun. Yun lang naman ang ginagawa ko kapag nasistress ako.
Before we wrap up this episode, I want to leave you with some trusted resources that can help you dive deeper into stress management or get support when needed. The first is books. Kabat-Zinn J. 13, Full Catastrophe Living, Using the Wisdom of Your Body and Mind to Face Stress, Pain, and Illness. Bantam Books, A Foundational Guide to Mindful-Based Stress Reduction, or MBSR. Bending Science and Meditation, Sapolsky R. 2004, Why Zebras Don't Get Ulcers and Clean Guide to Stress. Stress-related diseases and coping, both paperbacks. A witty and science-backed look on how chronic stress affects our bodies and minds. Here are some websites and hotlines that may be able to help you with your stressors. And that is all for our podcast for today's video. And may this video help you